Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode about the movies with William Fletcher. As per usual, I am your host, William Fletcher, and I'm joined by this week by special IMF agent Mr. Barney Metcalf.
You fool! It's not Barney Metcalf. I'm actually Harry wearing a mask.
Whoa!
A twist.
What a twist! Whoa! So, I assume you got those shades that you were sent that had your mission for.
And the problem is that they fucking blew up after they finished, and I didn't get a chance to re-listen to the recording, so I've got no idea what the mission is.
Yeah, it's really annoying. They should really change how those work, because sometimes you might
should at least get to listen to it twice, you know.
Yeah, it's like, would you like to hear it a second? Yeah, they need to fix that technology, and if you tell by this hilarious,
I was going to say, it's pretty obvious what we're going.
This genius improv that is being performed by the two of us.
As we've proven before, we are improv gods.
We're talking about Mission Impossible, because there's a bloody new one out this week. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how much. Some of these films we probably won't spend that much time on, because some of them don't have a lot to talk about.
No, I agree.
But yeah, Mission Impossible. It's based off a TV show originally, which I've never seen any of, but I'm aware of it existing.
I definitely have seen like episode or two of it, but that was years ago.
I mean, I guess we'll just jump right in and talk about Mission Impossible 1, or Mission Impossible if you prefer. So it came out 1996, I believe.
Oh no, it's 96. Sorry, yeah, you're right.
By Brian De Palma. I don't know if I've seen any other Brian De Palma films, although I know of a lot. But
you've not seen Carrie or anything? That was him, right?
I haven't seen Carrie. No. Oh, I've seen The Untouchables. The Untouchables is very good, actually.
You've seen Scarface, haven't you?
I haven't seen Scarface either. It's one of my big.
Yeah, I've never seen it, to be fair. The only thing that I've seen is this, Carrie, The Untouchables, and Blowout with John Travolta.
And it's written by. I was just looking. It's written by David Coep, who I think is a very, very good writer.
A name I can't remember what else he's done.
Well, he did Dark. He did the first Raimi Spider-Man. He also did The Lost World, Jurassic Park, aka the worst fucking Jurassic Park film.
He also did the worst Indiana Jones film.
He did, and he also did do Dial of Destiny.
Okay, I do like his shtick.
Yeah. He also did the Tom Cruise Mummy film, which everyone is.
Okay. And Jack Reacher, I believe I'm saying.
And Jack Reacher. So I guess he works with Tom Cruise a lot, because he also did War of the Worlds. Also,
Jack Ryan. Sorry.
He also did War of the Worlds, also with Tom Cruise. So he really seems to like working with Tom Cruise. And then the other director is Robert Towne, who I cannot. The name does not ring a bell. He won the Oscar, an Academy Award for Chinatown, which
I've never thought much of Chinatown, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I was about to say, you're not a big fan of Chinatown as a film.
It's okay, but yeah, I don't particularly care for it.
Yeah, Mission Impossible. And David Coop, he also did the story, along with Steve Zalian, who is, again, a very big deal, like a very big name writer in the industry, I'd say.
Nothing's coming to mind that he's done.
He did Irishman, Schindler's List.
Oh yes, sorry. Yeah, I've just looked them up, and yeah, no, okay. There's a bunch of stuff that I've seen.
Yeah, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, Moneyball, Gangs of New York. But yeah, so Mission Impossible, 1996. Tom Cruise was sort of. I don't know if Tom Cruise is the guy in these films. He's the guy who's in all. He does, he's back for.
He's the only person who gets their name in the trailers or on the poster.
I'm trying to think of how deep, how famous because he'd done Top Gun by now. He'd done Rain Man, Few Good Men, Interview with the Vampire.
Business.
Risky Business, of course. Cocktail,
Well, of
a
course,
real classic.
I was going to say his best film, Cocktail. Yeah.
Yeah. He was a big, I mean, he's a megastar now, but he was, quite a big deal by this point as well. He was a very
Yeah.
well-known actor. And this was also sort of in the period where Tom Cruise was sort of doing different things with his films, whereas now he's kind of just the same in everything.
Well, because he's just kind of doing action films, isn't he?
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about Tom Cruise when we did Collateral, fucking like
Yeah, that
4
was
years ago.
first episode.
Yeah, I think it was like 2021 we did that episode as well. It was
Yeah, it was a while ago at this point. Jesus
ages
Christ.
ago. And I mean, I think we both said in that. I mean, go listen to that episode. It's one of the best,
Oh,
I think.
homie.
But I think we both were very complimentary of Tom Cruise's like acting ability. I think we're both in agreement. He's a very good actor.
When he wants to be, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. When he wants to be,
Never,
ignoring the
never has a white
Scientology.
man sold the line "Yo, homie" so well.
Yeah, Tom
Yo,
Cruise with
homie.
his sick streak talk. Just,
Yeah, he's a street tough.
and I mean, I don't. It does not really need to be mentioned, but the Scientology thing ain't a good thing. But also
No,
it's like,
you're being ridiculous, Thomas. You need to chill out.
but also like we don't really need to talk about it because everyone knows it. Like it's just one of those things that people know. Like there's no
Beating
point
a
in
dead
talking
horse.
about it. And this was when Tom Cruise sort of had the short hair going. He's had some interesting haircuts
Yeah.
on Tom Cruise.
Well, it's really jarring
I mean,
going from that first one to the second one where he's got like mega long hair or something. Well, not overly long, but definitely much longer than the first one.
yeah. Well, I mean, we'll touch on that when we
Get
get to the second one.
Oh, so I
But I
guess to
mean,
get into this one, I was saying before that it's
mm,
weird to remember that this franchise came from the TV show. It's also weird looking at where the films are now compared to this first film.
I
Because
mean, yeah,
it has changed a lot. Just in
yeah. I
terms of like
mean,
scale.
oh yeah, the stunts in this first film are quite tame comparatively to every film that follows.
Yeah,
Like
it's just got like Tom
afterwards.
Cruise dangling about on a wire in a room in the first
Yeah,
one.
and there's that moment where like the water is like falling down, and he's doing this like
Or he
mad.
like jumps out the window.
Yeah, and it's the most awkward like jumping I've ever seen. Like he's got his arms like raised up, like he's raising the roof, and he's like kicking his feet up high so he doesn't flailing about.
Oh yeah,
Um,
window walls is just smashed behind him.
yeah. Well, apparently when they filmed that, they tried to do it with like a stuntman, but because of the way they were shooting it, they're like, we just cannot
I
film
think
this with a stuntman.
pretty easy to tell it's not Tom Cruise.
Yeah, and so they basically said to him like, "Don't fall over, because if you do, you could like drown." Because it was,
Fucked.
yeah, you're pretty fucked. So, and I mean, he wasn't really known as a stunt guy before this.
No,
like he not really. Like the biggest stunt-wise film was probably like Top Gun. Was probably like the biggest like stunt film he'd done.
he's not doing. I don't think he was flying any planes for real.
No, exactly. It's like the closest. But again, this is probably where he got the taste for it, where he was like, "Oh, I can like nearly die in all these
Russian
movies."
flying out the window.
Yeah.
He's been chasing the high ever since.
I wonder when did he get into Scientology? Because I just want to see where that timeline, where that lines up, like how
No idea.
in his career he was. Because 1986, so that's 10 years earlier. Okay.
Jesus.
That's a long time. And I know Scientology isn't like a particularly old. 1953 it was founded. Okay, that's older
It's
than I
longer
thought it
ago
would
than
be.
I thought it would be, honestly.
Yeah, I thought it would have been like the 70s. Yeah, I thought it was like quite. Yeah, I did not think it was that old. I thought it was just something that like was made like in the 70s or something. But I mean, there's not just Tom Cruise in this film. Obviously, there's many others. Ving Rhames. He wasn't who I was going to get to next, but yes, Ving Rhames is. He's in almost all of the other ones, or is he? Is he in all of them? Is Ving Rhames?
He is not in this. Ooh. There's one that he's not in.
Is it 4 he's not in?
He does show up at the very end, I think, doesn't he?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
just
he shows
looking, and it
up
looks
at
like
the
he's
very
in
end.
all of them.
He's not really involved in the main plot.
I'm just looking in. It appears that he's in all of them.
Yeah, he is in all of them. He's just not involved in the main mission in the fourth one. He just shows up at the
Yeah,
end.
it just says uncredited cameo. So, but we've also got John Voight in there as twist. He's the bad guy.
My
What?
goodness,
What a twister!
could have seen it coming.
Yeah, because at the beginning of the first film, Ethan's entire team die.
Or Emilio
Uh,
Estevez.
yeah, is he the one that gets crushed in the elevator?
Yeah, he's on top of the lift.
Yeah, which I'm like, there's no way I'm ever going to be in that position, but there is something about that is just quite
Yeah, that's a real nightmare, isn't it?
disturbing to me, of just being like on top of something and you're up and it's like, oh shit, I'm going to get crushed by
I'm gonna get crushed.
just the idea of that.
Today's my day.
But we've also got Jean Reno.
Jean
I think
Reno.
that's like as in here. I mean, probably. In Leon, the Professional, probably his most well-known performance.
Probably.
So his most well-known film. Well, I mean, Mission Impossible is more well-known, but he's not known for being in it. So
I was gonna say if name 3 people that have been in the first Mission Impossible film, I'm not sure Jean Reno would be one of the first names that people immediately jump to.
I mean, yeah, probably not. We haven't really talked about the plot of this film.
So there's this mission, right? And it's really, really difficult.
Bloody difficult mission.
But they do it. Believe it or not, they get through it.
These missions, right? They're not even just difficult. Some are possible. Like they're pretty
Yeah,
difficult.
I don't know. I think they should have named the franchise Mission Pretty Fucking Hard.
Like I wish one of these films just ended where they don't actually complete the mission and it's impossible.
Like, maybe that's how this one's gonna be. The new one.
But yeah, there's this Ethan Hunt. Good thing they didn't call him Mike.
Ooh. I was wondering how long it would take for us to make a cunt joke.
Yeah, so there's this mission. They think it's all going all right, and then like they all die, except, which I mean I think is a pretty ballsy way to open the film. Is just to be like, yeah, every character dies. Like straight up, we're just gonna kill them all. And obviously, it gets undone later because it's like, oh wait, some of them didn't actually die.
Turns out 2 of them are actually alive. Only 2 of them really died before.
And then there's like Ethan. He's got that scene where he's meeting, and what is I can't remember, but there is just a big thing of water that he just sort of shuts some
He's
gum at.
meeting like a guy that there's like a higher up in the IMF, and he thinks, you're a traitor. You killed your team, and he's like, nah.
And and then this was before Tom Cruise ran everywhere, though. Like this was sort of a bit before he was.
This was the true dawn of Tom Cruise running.
He doesn't quite have the form that he has. Like he gets really good form later on, but the form isn't quite there yet. He needed to hone his skills.
He really hones his running skills.
That's what I noticed when I was watching the third one. I'm like, oh, that's the run he does.
There is that one shot where you're like, oh, there it is.
Yeah, I mean, this is Mission Impossible. This one, it was a very often parodied film after it came out.
The whole bit where he's dangling from the wire in the room, that kind of became
which I mean, admittedly, is a very good scene. I think
they're probably the best scene
really well. Yeah, it's just that thing. It's like the Matrix bullet time. Like every the next 3 years was doing the same thing, and it's just like why? But yeah, there's that. I mean, that's the best scene in the film. Yeah.
Yeah, and it feels weird that that's the most remembered bit of the film. It's not even really the climax of the film because that's all the stuff on the train.
Yeah, and it's not even like like it's a decent it's an impressive stunt and all, but it's also not like a massively like
compared to the rest of the franchise, it's a really scene.
Yeah, like the worst that happens is he just falls like a few feet to the ground. Yeah, and he if it snaps, he just sort of activates an alarm. Like that's it, really. It's sort of never. It's not this big crazy thing. Yeah, the sort of the climax really is this big train.
They're trying to, what was it, like upload something?
Bad one. Well, this is 1996 Wi-Fi, so
No,
honestly, I don't
I
think
do really
there's a
like this
massive.
first one. I really enjoy this first one, but yeah, I don't have a massive amount to say on it. I think it does its job very well, and the franchise will go on to be better, and in the case of the next film, worse.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to mention Danny Elfman did the score for this first film, and Danny Elfman is one of the greatest composers ever.
We do like him.
And I mean, yeah, the main theme, which I know is from the TV show, is
Yeah, he didn't do that. You chancer, Danny.
Yeah, but the main theme is a great piece of music.
Yeah, no, it's one of the most recognizable pieces of music ever.
But I mean, yeah, I don't really have much left to say on this. I give it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, it's a very good time. Yeah, I'd give it an 8. I'd give it a slight edge.
And we move on to the fan favorite, Mission Impossible 2, by John Woo. Yeah, I mean, not a good film. This one, quite.
Tell you what, I don't dislike it as much as I used to, but I still don't think it's particularly great. I've come to enjoy kind of the just nonsense of it a bit more. Yeah, it's headlines, weakest of the franchise, not particularly brilliant.
Obviously, yeah, it's not. It's very silly film. It's really, I mean,
I'm kind of on board with that, but I think sometimes it does just kind of step over the line slightly, and you think, oh.
I mean, the opening Tom Cruise stunt is him on a fucking cliff on like a massive rock formation for no reason. Like,
it's called a mountain.
I don't think it's technically a mountain, is it? It's like a.
I don't know.
It's a big rock he's on.
He's on a big rock like a lizard.
And I don't mean on this, but yeah, Tom Cruise climbing this thing for no reason. There's no plot reason for it. There's like no internal justification. And yeah, apparently he had like a wire to hold him up there because like,
why?
Tom. I feel like I read they didn't have like a net to catch him, like if he fell, and I'm like, oh cool, wow.
So if somebody really wanted to, they could have ended the whole franchise now by just kind of giving him a kick.
Yeah, it's such a pointless stunt. Like yes, it's impressive.
It's just there to be like, ooh, he's climbing a big rock.
But there's no need. Like all the other stunts we see in the other films are pretty like justified.
They're story relevant.
And then yeah, he gets his mission on the sunglasses, which he then tosses to the camera.
Very arrogantly.
Like, explodes into the main title sequence. And so this one, it takes place in Australia for a lot of it. In Sydney, because fair enough.
I was going to say it's probably the most recognisable bit of Australia.
Yeah, you want the opera house in the background. Yeah, you want some. Yeah, you got the bridge as well. Like we don't have it here in Brisbane. Like there is not really anything that is like, oh yeah.
But in fact, I do quite like this franchise, but I will say they never really excel when it comes to villains.
They really seem to struggle, like compared to like Bond. And there's some really good villains in Bond, for example, but Mission Impossible just doesn't quite have that. A favourite of mine, Brendan Gleeson. I think he's fantastic.
Yeah, nothing. But I think we're both on the record as being quite big fans of good old Brendan.
Yeah. We talked about In Bruges, so for some reason, Anthony Hopkins is just like the new head of the IMF in this film for some reason.
Yeah, it's odd that he's in this film.
But I know he did like a Transformers film as well.
I think it's good stuff to have for like a pub quiz. You say you have to like name as many Anthony Hopkins films as you can. You know, you're certainly getting one up on somebody else by having Mission Impossible 2 in your back pocket. Tom Cruise. This is the first one where he gets to do all of his motorbike riding, right?
Yeah, there's that really funny bit near the end where him and Dougray Scott like drive at each other in motorbikes and leap into the air, like colliding.
What a brilliant
in the middle of the air.
One-on-one combat fight.
Yeah, and then they just get up like it's nothing, Like one of them's just like getting up, and the other one just like sweeps the leg out. And I'm like, yeah, that wouldn't happen. You'd be still like, you'd have broken something. It's such a ridiculous stunt, but it's really funny as well. Just two guys just leaping.
So this is kind of like my frame of reference for John Woo, because I've not seen like Face Off or any of his other stuff. Is this just what it's like? Just madness.
I feel like maybe. I mean, I'm not really a John Woo expert or much about. And then
this is what I think of him. This is
also that bit that gets there's the knife.
Yeah, nearly goes in his eye.
Which Tom Cruise again did for real. Yeah, no, do it. Which
yeah, I think he does want to just die on camera.
So I'm just reading here. The knife was attached to a cable and was carefully measured to stop quarter of an inch. Measured it out exactly, and apparently he just asked Douglas Scott, like, put your full weight on this. Like he's really go trusting in that cable. And I'm just like,
I would not have that same faith.
No, because I'd just be thinking like, this was a where it just snaps and just goes right directly through my skull.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't really have much more to say, really. I feel like I've kind of... This is easily the worst one. This is the worst in the franchise, like, by a
I would be amazed if they managed to make the new one worse than this. Anyway,
I give it a 5 out of 10. Like, it's not... It's a very watchable film.
I'd give it a 5 as well, probably.
Then after that is Mission Impossible 3, which I feel like Mission Impossible 3 is a bit of
high-class filmmaker J.J. Abrams.
I don't like J.J. Abrams. I'm not a fan of the J.J.
I like some of his films, but as for him as a filmmaker, I'm not fussed.
I think he's a bit of a hack who's just got key in his career, to be honest. He's not a particularly talented filmmaker. I certainly wouldn't say he is. I feel like 3 sort of, it's a bit of a favorite. I feel like a lot of people really like this one. I don't know why, but in my mind, I don't know why this one.
I think this is one that you hear people championing a lot because it's kind of the one that people forget about.
But I mean, it's not that amazing. Like, it's fine. I don't dislike it.
I like it. It's good, but
yeah,
I think there are plenty of moments in it I think are really great. But as a whole film, it's just good. I feel like I sound like I'm being quite harsh.
Yeah,
I do like this film.
I don't think it's bad by any means. It's just, I mean, this is where, as we were sort of mentioning before, this is where we really get the Tom Cruise run. Like that's just
that shot. This is where like running really down the street.
Yeah, this long take just following him down like this canal or something, and he's just sprint. And then there's like the bit sort of early in the film where he's like running, and then this like a missile like
blast him into the side of a car.
And he gets fucking slammed of a car, which like in terms of like of stunts, that's actually not that like it's not like it's obviously going to hurt a bit, but it's somewhat mild compared to a lot of the other mental shit he does. I feel like this one gets sort of mentioned because Philip Seymour Hoffman is the villain in it.
Yeah, I'd say this is probably the best villain of the franchise, just Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Because it's Philip Seymour Hoffman, who is, I think, a very good actor, or was a very good actor, rather. I do really like Philip Seymour Hoffman as an actor, yeah.
Yeah, I do really like him in this film.
And then, Ving Rhames, we've got Billy Crudup as a character. Again, the thing with most of these films is I just don't remember many of the characters. That's the problem with a lot of these films, is I just don't remember the characters.
Certainly some of these ones in like the middle, he kind of... the first four, he kind of gets like a couple of new sidekicks that I don't remember. Like, he's got 2 little sidekicks in this one that I just don't remember at all.
Yeah, this Michelle Monaghan is like his wife.
Jesse Pinkman. Aaron Paul shows up at one point.
Yeah.
Is like
I was watching this. Isn't Eddie Marsan in this one as well? Doesn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Seriously, what the fuck is Eddie Marsan? I still don't know.
We'll never know. I don't think we'll ever know.
Genuinely, he just shows up in things, and I'm like, what the fuck? He was showing up in things in 2006. Like, I thought this was a new thing where he just showed up randomly in film. Simon Pegg. This is the first one Simon Pegg is in.
Yes, I wanted to get onto that. This is the first Simon Pegg one.
Again, we're both big Simon. I mean, listen, we did an Edgar Wright two-parter.
I was going to say yes. No, I think I'm very much on record as being an uber Simon Pegg fan.
Yeah, I'm a big Simon Pegg fan. You know, I mean, Cornetto trilogy, all great. Spaced, fantastic. Simon Pegg, the first one he's in. This is when he was breaking into America. You know, he sort of did Star Trek soon after this.
Well, basically, him getting involved in this wasn't like J.J. Abrams literally just kind of emailed him and said, "Yeah, you want to be on it? You want to be in this film?" And he's like, "Okay." And then he got to do Star Trek and that.
And then also Kerry Russell is in it. I don't remember who that is in the film. Like, I know the actor. I just don't know who the hell she is.
Oh, she's I believe that agent at the start who dies.
Oh, I just want to say that is a really nice moment in that film where, like, she died, like, the thing goes off.
Yeah, that's one of those. I mentioned that's one of those like little moments that like is a really great bit of an otherwise like decent film.
Yeah, like I think that's a really great visual, just like the eyes all kind of. Yeah, it's actually quite. Yeah, well done, I would say. Yeah,
this moment mentioned. We've definitely heard and seen stuff where this is mentioned, but my favorite bit of this entire film is where Philip Seymour Hoffman is acting as Tom Cruise. The way he points, he's like coughing. That is a brilliant bit of observation for him to incorporate into his performance.
Yeah, there's also another big Tom Cruise stunt where he just runs off a building. just goes running and just like leaps off the build, like that scene in Spider-Man where Peter's like jumping across the rooftops, like swinging his arms in the air. Tom Cruise is doing that off the side of a building, which I'd seen that clip like out of context before, and I'm like, oh, there's just this bit where Tom Cruise just runs and jumps off a building, and that's it.
It's the only real, like, I guess, big stunt in this film.
Yeah, there isn't really, like, these first three are quite tame in terms of their stunts.
It's only really the next one when he like climbed up the Burj Khalifa that kind of set the tone
it's
for
the tallest fucking building in the world. Yeah, and they're like, okay, we're gonna have to, yeah. But yeah, I mean, what is the plot of this one again? I don't. There's like
there's a thing called the Rabbit's Foot, and we don't really find out what it is, but it's bad.
Yeah.
And it'll do something.
And doesn't bomb in his head or something? Like, I know that there's a character with like a bomb in their head or something.
Philip Seymour Hoffman put something in his head or something.
Yeah, and then like towards the end,
it's the thing that kills Kerry Russell at the start of the film.
Yeah, and then at the end of the film, he's like, oh, he's like, you know, sort of trying not. I'm like, oh shit, I'm about to die. This thing's gonna go. And then they have like a defibrillator.
Michelle Monaghan to do some stuff.
Yeah, and there's the defibrillator, and they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna use this, and that'll like deactivate the bomb, I think, or something. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that would.
I'm not sure it would work.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're not meant to use a defibrillator on someone when, like, in that way. I'm pretty sure it's a bit.
If it's something in his head.
Yeah, that's definitely not. That's not set. They use it on the chest.
Well, this happens a lot in, well, not just Hollywood, but, you know, other films in this franchise and proper use of defibrillators.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to one of these films, but they don't seem to know how these things work.
Before we carry on to the next one, just a bit that I just thought of. When Philip Seymour Hoffman's character dies, they roll out into the street and he gets hit by a car. Never hear any like screeching of brakes from the car, so I assume it just hit Philip Seymour Hoffman and kept going.
Yeah, there was it also like So it clearly he must have been like plastered to the fucking front of the car because the car there's only been like bumping sounds as it's going over the OE. It must have just pancaked against it. And it's such a weird
stuck on the front of the car.
Much to say on it. I give it
I give it 7. I think it's decent action spy film. The franchise has reached greater heights before.
Now we move to the best film in the franchise for me, Mission Impossible 4, Ghost Protocol. They started putting subtitles in these films now. They're not just Mission Impossible numbered. They've got to have subtitles now. Which Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, directed by Brad Bird. But I mean, I am a big Brad Bird fan. I do like Brad Bird as a creator. I mean, as I said before, this is my favorite film in the franchise. Yeah, I mean, we mentioned it before, but there's the Burj Khalifa sequence where Tom Cruise is just climbing the tallest building in the world.
Up the building. Like a mad bastard.
And he's got these like special gloves that he has to like peel off and like to climb on.
Yeah, that's something that Brad Bird brings to this film. Cool gadgety stuff.
Yeah, so there's some nice tech in this one.
I do like that none of it really
and then,
works.
He loses. Yeah, because you see in a lot of, Bond films, for example, is a big thing in those. They have a lot of gadgets, and they always work. Like, it's very rare that in one of those films, a gadget doesn't work. Like, every time a gadget's set up, it's like, okay, that's going to be a big thing later.
It's the go-to when it comes to
when they were trying to make Jeremy Renner like a thing.
I was going to say the big thing that this film brings to the table, Jeremy Renner.
We've never talked about Jeremy Renner on the podcast, have we?
I don't think so.
Okay, because I think he's shit. I don't
particularly have any strong feelings about him, but I'm certainly, unfazed by him.
I mean, he's nothing, really. That's the problem. He's very
he's nothing. If you're listening to this, Jeremy, then you need to up your game, son.
Yeah, and stay away from snow plows.
Oh.
Sorry, that was uncalled for.
Oh, poor Jeremy. He's such a big fan.
Oh no, I'm sure millionaire Jeremy Renner's gonna be fine. Like, look. Here's the thing, right? He didn't die from it. So I think I can make jokes about it. I think it's okay. I think that's how comedy works. I'll say Jeremy Renner is a bit of a weird guy, though. I'll just be like honest. He's a bit weird. Like, he had that social media app. I don't know if you're aware of this, but he set up this social media app that's all about Jeremy Renner.
His own app.
Yeah, let me find it. But yeah, he set up his own app.
That's a strange thing to do, Jeremy.
Yeah, no, it's a weird that he set up an app. It says, Jeremy Renner's fan app named simply Jeremy Renner was launched to connect with fans. He created the app in March 2017 to hear the input and comments of his fans. It was shut down to bullying and trolling. The user was apparently, upon downloading the app, the user was faced with a video of Renner speaking about his fans and superfans, regular giveaways and dates. He would occasionally live stream about his work, and the community developed to include meme selfies and a happy red event on these. This is amazing. This is one of the greatest things I've ever read about. This is one of the. It's so weird, though, isn't it? Like, that's so weird. In this film, Léa Seydoux, she's a part of the film, isn't she?
Yeah.
But no, she's fucking very good in it. I think in general, she's a very good. I wasn't like I didn't think she was like amazing actor, but I think she was actually quite good in No Time to Die.
I think she's fantastic in No Time to Die. I love her.
In this one, the best one, they deal with sort of Russia a bit in this one, which I feel like is sort of a very common thing for they deal with Russia, or like people like.
Well, they're just kind of a go-to baddie when it comes to like global superpowers.
There's a lot of stunts in this one.
Yeah, well, yes, the Burj Khalifa bit. That's was what everyone was talking about.
But there's a bit where he takes like his belt off and he uses it as like to slide down a wire.
Oh, that he zips down a wire and onto a van or something.
Yeah, or like I feel like he like falls onto the van and then like falls onto like the stone street or something.
The road.
Like lands on it. The road, yeah.
Yeah, well,
and he doesn't have shoes on,
but then he goes off.
And no shoes on either.
That's the way you immediately get me invested in an action sequence. Take away their shoes. It's like Die Hard.
There's a bit where he's like leaving, yeah, and he gets caught in a big explosion, and he goes like, that's actually a really fun sequence in Simon Pegg. They've got that like
that like canvas in front of them that can project.
Yeah, and then there's like Pegg. He looks like directly, and then his fucking head is like just stretched.
Yeah, he goes in front of the camera. So yeah, no, I think that's a cool little thing that I imagine Brad Bird's brought into it.
And then once they're done with the Burj Khalifa, Tom Cruise, he just starts running. He like walks out and he's running as like a big sandstorm.
Oh, well, I was going to say he's chasing somebody. It's not like he's just running after. He's just running.
Yeah, he's chasing after a guy, and
he's chasing him. He doesn't just go for a run.
Puts on and then there's, as we mentioned, there's a big fight on a car park
with a lift.
Really sequence as well, actually. Yeah, which I think is a lot of really fun. But I think it's a good piece of action filmmaking. I think the problem with not a lot of action films, but with some action films, there isn't really a plot. There's just sort of action for action's sake, and it's like, why should I care? Like, what's happening? Like, if more action films were pitched like Crank, I'd probably like them.
World would be a better place.
Yeah, I give it an 8, a low 8, but an 8. I think it's just a lot of fun.
Well, and it's
I think it's just a lot of really good shit going on.
Yeah, no, well,
a lot of action,
good time to be. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and we didn't mention this before, but Michael Giacchino started doing the score for these films around. He did the score for the third one. Michael Giacchino, also excellent composer. I think he's one of the best composers working right now. But yeah, I give it an 8. I quite enjoy it.
Yeah, I too would give it an 8.
And then we move on to
Rogue Nation. This is my favorite.
I was about to say, from my memory, this was your favorite one of the franchise.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I'm a big
I liked it. I think this is the first one I saw in the cinema.
I think same for me, actually.
It starts off with a fucking hell of a stunt that they put in all the marketing.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise grabs hold of a plane.
Goes flying in the sky like a...
And, it's not, again, there's not really much protection for him. He's just got a harness.
Oh, he's just on the side of the plane like a bird. Like, hits him, he's gone.
Yeah. And there is a harness keeping him there. But it's also like, that's not really much. That's not much, yeah. Like, if he falls, he's fucking dead. Like, there's no parachute or anything. Like, if he falls off if the harness breaks and he lets go. But yes, he it's a very impressive. Like, all the stunts are impressive. Things I don't think, because Tom Cruise is really one of the last real movie stars. Like, I don't think there's many actors at that level who are like stars in the way that Tom Cruise is. Like, people will go see a Tom Cruise movie because Tom Cruise is in it. Like, I'm trying to think of if there's any other actors who were like that, where them being in it's the movie. I mean, maybe like Brad Pitt, DiCaprio, maybe.
I was thinking Brad Pitt, yeah.
Maybe not DiCaprio as much, but I think Brad Pitt. But it looks to a degree level, but I think they are certainly two of the bigger names.
Yeah, but I don't think it's quite in the same way as Tom Cruise.
No, it's not. It's not the same thing at all. No.
So we get Rebecca Ferguson in this one. Yeah, I like her. This was probably the first thing I saw her in.
Probably same for me. I don't think I would have seen her in anything before this.
Other stuff like
one where you go
hopping in the water. I really like that bit.
Yeah.
Even
how
like
much of that is
non-stuff
real?
stuff, like there's
because like he drowns, and then they have to resuscitate him with a defibrillator.
So what do they use?
Which I don't technically how that. Yeah, I don't think that's technically how it works. I think it's meant to reset your heartbeat rather than restart your heart.
No, everybody knows that a defibrillator is just, it cures all illnesses.
It brings people to, if your heart stopped, it's fine, it'll just bring you back. But he's a bit loopy afterwards. Like he does sort of, he does sell it a bit though. He doesn't like.
Isn't there a bit where like he tries to slide across a bonnet and like he falls off?
Yeah. He tries to do like the normal things he does, and he just sort of flops. He's just like, oh fuck it. He just sort of like.
I do like that they have Simon Pegg be like, "Are you all right? Like, you sure you can drive?"
Yeah, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, oh fine."
I think that whole car chase that leads into the motorcycle stuff. I really like that sequence.
No, I was just saying, there's some good stuff in this. There's good. I mean, all of these films, to be honest,
even like the non-actiony stuff, I really like. Like, there's the bit where Benji's got Simon Pegg. He's got a bomb strapped to his chest, and like having to negotiate stuff. I think that's all very cool. Actually, can't believe I've not mentioned this yet, but that sequence at the opera, I really like.
Something about an opera I really like. Just a scene set in an opera, I'm a big fan of. But there's something about the opera as like a setting.
What other scenes have you seen that are set in operas?
That's what I'm trying to think. I don't know what I've seen.
Is it just
there's Night at the Opera. No, there's
but that's a very different kettle of fish than this.
But yeah, no, that doesn't count. I'm trying to look at films with opera scenes.
Phantom of the Opera.
And I don't know why. I like it. So Fitzcarraldo has one. Oh, that's right. Also, just to quickly mention another actor, Alec Baldwin's in this one. He's like the new boss. They have new bosses in every single one of these bloody films.
I know, right? Like Anthony Hopkins, Lawrence Fishburne.
He was in the third one, wasn't it? Yeah, we didn't talk about Fishy Larry. Even though I love Fishy Larry, he's brilliant in everything.
He doesn't really do anything.
He's a great actor. No, but I just like Lawrence Fishburne. I like it when he shows up in things, even if he's not used. Yeah, Alec Baldwin, the boss. I don't. To be honest, most of these films, I don't really give a shit about these characters. Like, they're very, like, they're not bad characters. They're just, like, very stock characters who are just...
Yeah, they don't need to be particularly interesting, because I guess that's not really why we're here, but... Yeah, I don't mind them.
But, it's a fun... Yeah, it's good, but I think this is sort of one of the... I think this is sort of one of the lesser films for me. Like, not that it's a bad film, but I think I just prefer some of the other ones a bit more. But I give it a 7.
I give it 8.5. I'm a very big fan.
Mission Impossible Fallout. By Christopher McQuarrie, who is sort of the guy who's done the last 3 now. He's not... I don't think there's much to his, like, style of direction or anything, but I think he's a solid hired gun. Yeah. He's a solid hired gun, I'd say. Henry as
doing his little fist reload.
And it was when because he's got the mustache, and this was when Justice League, they did those reshoots for Justice League, and he had to keep mustache on just in case they had to do reshoots. Henry Cavill, though, I feel like people really like Henry Cavill a lot. I like a lot of people are a big fan of him
because he's like a self-confessed just nerd.
I think that's probably what it is. He plays Warcraft and he
built his own PC.
There's Angela Bassett is the sort of
she was in this
new CIA.
She's another boss.
Another boss, but she's not the IMF boss, but she's a new boss. Not really do though, unfortunately. And Vanessa Kirby as the sort of as the other sort of main new idiot in this film. I do want to touch on the big stunt in this one. There's the Halo jump, which I think is a fantastic stunt. Like truly, just a remarkable piece of stunt filmmaking.
It was like the first time they'd ever done that in a film, right?
That sounds possible, yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not.
Just a Halo.
But yeah, Tom Cruise did it for real, which again is just insane. Like he
also
just,
the
and he did, and he has to. The cameraman, yeah, and he has to act through the mask as well, which is like insane. Like he's got to do that thing where like fall off like just before he hit the. Like it's a lot because it's not just a big jump, a jump, just doing a Halo jump. He's also got to add all of it as well.
Yeah,
like that's the thing. A really impressive stunt too.
Well,
like seeing the behind
Tom Cruise's commitment and broke his fucking leg, and he kept going to get out of the shot.
That's
so
right. He broke his. Yeah, that's right. I remember. Yeah, he was on like Graham Linehan, and not Linehan. Fucking hell, Graham. What a fucking Freudian slip that was. Graham Norton. Yeah, and you see it in the film. He does the stunt and he jumps, and you just see his leg just fucking smash against the building. Fucking hobbles off screen because he's like, "Yep, fucking leg's broken." He's just willing to put his body on the line, whatever it takes to get the best shot. It's like, yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, like dangling off a helicopter.
I give this one a 7 as well.
I give it an 8. This is a very solid entry. By this point, I think the franchise is very much in its stride and it knows what it's doing, and it's doing it consistently.
And then we get to Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, Part 1. One of the
Although it's no longer called Part 1.
It's still one of the most clunky fucking titles I've ever seen.
No, I know. I thought it was unforgivable when it still had the Part 1 attached to it. It's also just the grammar: Mission : Impossible - Dead Reckoning :
it's
Part
up there
1.
with AVPR : Aliens vs Predators - Requiem, which for me is the benchmark of like the worst film title. Like genuinely, I can't think of a worse film title than AVPR: Aliens vs Predator Requiem. Like I don't think there's anything worse than that. Honestly.
One of the Rambo films probably gives it a run for its money. But
I mean, this was one of the first real productions that started during COVID. Like they were really.
Oh yeah, Tom Cruise yelled at those people.
Yeah, he was not a happy man.
I mean, you can see where he's coming from in that case.
I can see where he's coming from. Yeah, no, it's definitely very justified where he's. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, this isn't a good sound.
Oh, I know who this is going to be. Is this Christian?
Hollywood making movies right now because of us. Because they believe in us and what we're doing.
Chill out.
Tom, we're just doing a we're not filming a movie here, Tom. We're just making a podcast in the studio, mate.
It's not a problem anymore. We're allowed to do this. We're not even in person.
I'm on the phone with every studio at night. Insurance companies.
He's a very, very
producers.
boy.
And they're looking at us and using us to make their movies. We are creating thousands of jobs, you
Tom, we know that, Tom, but you could at least find a way to give us a job naming Fast and Furious movies.
Tom, mate, it's not a big deal. We're just look, we're 6 feet apart between us in the studio. Like we're not even next to each other. Like,
stop jumping on the couch, you douchebag.
And if you don't do it, you're fired. And I see you do it again, you're gone. And anyone on this crew does it. That's it.
I like how Tom Cruise has a self built-in bleeping when he's swearing. I do appreciate that, Tom.
His PR team made him get that.
Yeah, it was quite expensive, but it was a worthwhile investment. Good to have guests in the studio sometimes. Good to see you, Tom.
Very high profile guest, Tom Cruise. That one. Sorry, we didn't catch you in a better mood.
Yeah, it wasn't very very. Hopefully, yeah. I might have to close the door because I don't want angry Christian Bale coming in. Honestly. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. They were making it during COVID, which is why it costs so much to make. Like I'm just looking, it cost $291 million to make it. Like it was expensive to make, and also like it made back its money, but it wasn't like a big financial hit.
It wasn't a massive profit.
Well, also it came out during Barbenheimer. That's the problem. It came out just before those two films came out and crushed the box office. It was in a really bad place when it was released, so it really didn't do as well as it could have done. I think this is probably my second favorite one of the franchise, to be
honest. It's top 3 for me, I'd say.
And I mean, with it being a part 1, it being called part 1, I was immediately incredibly apprehensive. I was like, don't you fucking dare. I was like, no, I'm sick of this. We've talked a lot, but I'm so sick of these fucking films just telling half the story and then just ending and just saying, yeah, you gotta come back in a year. It's like, no, you can't do that. I really get bothered by it. It's just because it's bad. It really bothers me. I feel like, I don't know if you can tell how just frustrated I get by this. It's just so irritating to me.
I'm very aware of how frustrated you get by this.
I will say, they do a better job than 90% of films.
I was going to say, I was quite pleased that this managed to still kind of rule as its own thing.
Yeah, I remember, I think, because you saw this before I did, and I remember mentioning, I'm not liking that. I think you said to me, oh no, it does have an ending though. It does work as its own story. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. I'm a bit more interested then, because that's why I was put off by it. Because it's 2 hours, 40 minutes, and they called it part 1, and I'm like, oh boy. I mean, I know we kept doing this, but a couple new editions of Haley Atwell and not Plom, it's Pom. Chief, I think is how you pronounce her name. They're nice additions. I like them.
I feel like they are. I feel like they introduced Haley Atwell because they kill off Rebecca Ferguson's character because I assume she was busy doing June.
Yeah.
And they need a new female
woman for Tom Cruise to have a new love interest for Tom Cruise, which is, arguably reasonable. Pretty. Yeah, but it's also it also does sort of be the concept of fridging the love interest. I mean, I assume you're aware of that concept, right?
No. What the fuck is that?
Oh, you're not aware of the concept of fridging. Okay. Okay, so basically, it was basically to very simply explain it. It's using a female character as a one. So a female, for example, is only used to service the plot. Their only purpose. Yes, Christopher Nolaning. Fridging is the term, basically. And I believe where it came from, there is a Green Lantern comic where the main Green Lantern in it finds his girlfriend dead in a fridge. Oh. And that's it. That's just where it comes from. And that's the term fridging. The woman fridging comes from as a concept. Which is, it's a Christopher Nolan thing. How do I, which we talked about, it's a very, very Nolan. They killed, Rebecca Ferguson. This one, actually, the first Mission Impossible film to get nominated at the Oscars for sound design and visual effect. I mean, fair enough, to be honest. I think, it was never going to think. Fair enough. Nominations. Lost visual effects to Godzilla, -1. Fair enough.
Yeah, again.
And lost sound to Zone of Interest. Yeah, I mean, I give this one a 7 as well, but it's a sturdy 7. I do quite like it. And for a film that's 2 hours and 40 minutes, I didn't really feel it.
Up to an 8. Yeah, it moves quickly. I gave this one an 8, and I always keep feeling like you're going to give it higher than 7, but then you never quite do. Oh well.
I give a lot of things 7. I'll be honest. I give a lot of things 7. I'm just going to quickly rattle off what my from the worst. So at the bottom 2 were pretty fair, I think. Then 3, then the first one, then Rogue Nation, Fallout, Dead Reckoning Part 1, Ghost Protocol.
I'd probably go same bottom 2, so the bottom 2 and 3, then Actually, yeah, probably one.
Yeah.
Then All Out goes Protocol. No, this one then goes Protocol, and then Rogue Nation at the top.
Yeah. And then, tying this into Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. They say it's the final one. I believe when it was announced that these will be like the last two with Tom Cruise, I believe you said he's like, I think.
Yeah, I was just about to ask: is Ethan Hunt going to die for the good of the world?
Well, they seem very set on this being the last one. Like, they seem to basically be saying, "Yeah, we're done after this." It's 170 minutes, which is a bit long, but I guess we'll see what happens. But I think that's pretty much it. Thank you for joining me for this week. Bit longer, but a 7-film franchise, so it's gonna go for a bit longer, isn't it? But yeah, thank you for joining me for this week.
That to me or the audience?
To you. To you. That's how I do things. I thank the guest, and then I thank the audience. But yeah, I hope you've all enjoyed listening. But yeah, thank you all for listening. I hope you've enjoyed. Listen to any and all previous episodes, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.